After taking the Cultural Perspective survey and reading Peggy McIntosh's article about the invisible knapsack, I feel even more confident to walk into a diverse classroom equipped to love on all my students. Ultimately, the survey was designed to bring awareness to the invisible knapsack that has entrapped our society today. And the biggest first steps that I would take would be to gather data on my students by discovering their interests and figuring out ways to include students from all different races, ethnicities, backgrounds, and genders into my lessons. After we know our students, we need to adjust our lessons to better suit their needs. An example of this would be after I got all my get to know you papers back from my students and finding out that all of them have a tie to Mexico or the game of football. I would then find articles, opinion pieces, graphics, magazine clippings, anything I can get my hands on about the Hispanic culture or football around the world, and then try to tie that into my lessons. This would make literacy development engaging for all of my students. I personally come from a middle-class Caucasian background with two parents that are together and love each other and love my siblings and I very well. Some of the questions in the survey instantly stir a, well, of course, response in my head, but I know that that's not the case for most. I think people with different socioeconomic backgrounds and people with different races than me would see the biggest difference in these answers. Peggy McIntosh highlights in her article that white privilege, the white privilege that exists that we aren't even aware of, and these questions point to that. I desire to be aware of my students' needs and the struggles of my students. I hope and pray that my classroom is an open and safe environment where students can voice their daily frustrations with the unfairness of the world. By voicing these frustrations, we can then be a class full of difference makers and mountain movers. With that, some students might be coming from hard situations, stressful situations, messy situations that will affect their ability to learn. Some students who may have behavior problems might just need someone to listen to them, and I want to be that person for them. Some students might need the challenge that learning is to distract them of whatever is taking place at home. Now, I am a soon-to-be GCU College of Education graduate, and I desire to go into my future classroom acknowledging and celebrating my students' differences, having compassion with students who might be a little bit of an extra headache, advocating for my students who might have lost their voice, implementing fairness in all that I do, and simply loving and teaching my students the way Jesus Christ would. I am thankful for this opportunity to take this survey and get this knowledge so that I can take it into my future classroom. Thank you very much.